Hi, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about it, seeing that everyone else is talking about it. So, we know it was the Queen's birthday a few days ago on, I think, the 21st of April. We also know that it was little Louis's birthday on Sunday, the 23rd. And the media is talking coronation every day, and Catherine and William released a photograph of the Queen with some of her grandchildren and great grandchildren, etc., etc. And therefore, we also knew for certain that Meghan was going to pull a stunt. It was just a matter of what and when. Okay, so as I understand it, Prince Charles, as he was then, wrote a letter to Meghan, and I would presume Harry as well, after the Oprah interview, to express his sadness over the tension in the family. And then Meghan wrote back to him, naming the person who made the remark about Archie's possible skin color and telling the king that she was concerned about and wanted to talk about unconscious bias in the royal family. Now, before we even talk about how this leaked or when it leaked or why it leaked, can we address how dumb the future king was to write to Meghan and Harry in the first place? It is not like he did not know what happened with the letter Meghan wrote to her father, is it? It is not like he did not know that both Harry and Meghan told 17 provable and another 5 or 6 likely lies during the Oprah interview. He knew that, and he still put pen to paper. Really? I honestly can just shake my head in disbelief of all the ridiculously stupid things Charles could have done. He went and did this. It's almost comical. Anyway, I'm sure that should Charles's letter be made public, there will be nothing incriminating in it. It will likely reflect well on him. However, we also know Meghan Markle by now. She can spin a mountain on the head of a pin. So how the future king could not have known that by 2021, I honestly don't know. All I can think is that some people are actually correct in stating that he is somebody who overestimates his own intelligence. Anyway, allegedly, the tone of the letters were amicable, but just the fact that Meghan wanted to spin her clear accusation of racism into this airy-fairy, unproven, unscientific bullshit of unconscious bias should tell anyone who was still doubting it that Meghan was indeed spinning a yarn or then lying through her teeth. But of course, she was aided and abetted by her darling husband, Harold, the lying, traitorous clown, as and when we heard him trying to convince Tom Bradby that it wasn't them who accused the royal family of racism, but indeed the British press. Yeah, like the entire British press congregated and had an interview with Oprah. However, poor dumb drug-fueled Harold also tried the unconscious bias narrative, saying, and I quote, I can even find it for you and play it to you. The difference between racism and unconscious bias, the two things are different. Wow, how prolific, Harold. Word salad bullshit at its best. But I guess unconscious says it all. They are so brain dead that they would not recognize a dead fish if it hit them in the face. I think anyone who watched the Oprah interview, even the Sugars, particularly the Sugars, will agree that there were a couple of allegations of racism in the interview, and not just the comment about Archie's skin color. Meghan also implied that Archie was not given a title because of his race. I can't remember whether it was during that interview or some other one that Meghan also said that she was not going to share her child with people who called him the N word. Now, I know she meant the press, but she hasn't really shared him with the royal family either, has she? Just think about that. Anyway, again, so now, after all is said and done, it is said that lawyers' letters are flying back and forth. And from what I understand, it's not so much about the content of the letters, but about the fact that their existence leaked from somewhere. And essentially, it could only leak from Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, or Montecito. So let me help you guys here, if I may. It did not leak from Clarence House. The staff there are too few and too close to the royal couple. The chances that it leaked from Buckingham Palace are almost equally slim. The king does not share offices with anyone, and let's just say he runs a tight ship. Or we can put it this way: if it leaked from Buckingham Palace, whoever leaked it is shaking in his or her boots now, because he or she will be found out. Remember, MI5 and MI6, need I say more? And once he or she has been found out, it will be taken very seriously, because the king deals with matters far, far bigger and far, far more important than Meghan Markle. Maybe I'm naive, but I personally believe that it is far more likely that it leaked from a certain mansion in Montecito. And I say that regardless of Meghan's puppet, Omid Scobie, saying that it is ridiculous that people are speculating that Meghan is not going to the coronation because of the letters. Omid states, and I quote, "The Duchess of Sussex is going about her life in the present, not thinking about correspondence from 2 years ago related to conversations from 4 years ago. Any suggestion otherwise is false and frankly ridiculous. We encourage tabloid media and various royal correspondents to stop the exhausting circus that they alone are creating." Really? Oh my word, this is funny. How dumb exactly is Omid and Meghan? Because make no mistake, Meghan told Omid what to write. I can hear her voice in that statement. The statement, however, confirms the existence of the letters and its contents, so we can thus assume that the original Telegraph article was indeed true, and that contrary to what Meghan is now saying through her mouthpiece scabies, she likely originally told her pal, referred to in the article as a source, to say that the letters or the response or the lack of response was one of the reasons she's not going to the coronation. I also thus believe the comment that Prince Charles was the only senior member of the royal family to reach out to them after the Oprah interview. So that means that the entire scene of Harry receiving a text from William after the Oprah interview was indeed fake, and acted out. Oh my word, this is hilarious. One always hears that you have to have a very good memory if you want to lie. And that is true, as you have to keep track of your lies and stories. But never in my entire life have I seen two people losing track of their lives as much as Harry and Meghan. Never have I seen two people backtracking as much. Never have I seen two people spinning so many stories and further lies to cover up their lives as Harry and Meghan. Honestly, it's crazy. At this point, I truly think this whole letter business is a nothing burger. Meghan can just as well go ahead and send a copy of the King's Letter to People magazine, okay? Guaranteed it will be a kind, sad, and maybe a little pompous letter from Charles, which will let all the purple-haired aunties' hearts go weak and make them sniff into their tissues. It will only gain empathy for the father missing his son and wanting to know his grandchildren. Meghan seriously misjudged the reaction to this so-called revelation. Even someone like me has empathy for the king as father and grandfather, and I see his role as parent and grandparent quite separate from his role as king. The only matter of interest and concern in this regard is to make absolutely sure it did not leak from the king's office. If it didn't, then it is truly a nothing burger, a non-smelly fart in the wind, a block of ice in winter at the North Pole. Oh, and before I go, allegedly, Megzi Mumu wants to heal the rift between them and the royal family and wants her children to have a relationship with the king, seeing that she does not have a father anymore. Actually, she means her father is not worth 2 billion, but anyway. And her children will never get to know their maternal grandfather. Well, like I said, firstly, I would like to inform Meghan that as far as I know, her father is still alive and kicking and just round the corner from her. Well, at least on the same continent as her. And I wonder what would happen if suddenly Mr. Markle is to get hold of 10, $20 million and move to a fancy apartment in New York and say make friends with Taylor Swift. Oh, goodness. I'm willing to bet that within a month Meghan would have found Jesus and forgiven her father. And on that note, enjoy the belly laughs. I'm going to go pick up my dog shit in order to stay in character while reporting on Meghan and Harry. So until we meet again on the next video, please take good care of yourself. Bye.